Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Kyle Rittenhouse case, but not too much. I kind of am using it as a springboard. You'll see where I go with it. See what you think. So I guess yesterday, in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, this garbage judge who, I don't know, it's just like, just tell him he's off. Just why are you wasting time with the media circus and all the taxpayer dollars of taking space in the courtroom and these people that have to pay for these jurors to be on leave or jury duty, just all these other people that are getting paid to stand. Just say you get to go. I'm letting you go, because that's essentially what he's doing. He's doing it in a very meticulous way, in a judgy way. But after Monday's decision to say that, because the one charge that looked like it was going to stick in this case was the guns charge, because he was underage. He brought his AR-15 across state lines with the help of his mother. What a wonderful mom! What a great mom! A 4-hour drive. I can imagine the pep talk, can't you? You get in there, Kyle. You bring your gun in there and you show them what America's about. All right. Okay, you're a great mom. And by the way, you put your child in harm's way. You're a terrible mother. This country isn't under attack from a foreign from a foreign. God, I can't think of words today, guys. From a foreign substance is what I want to say, but it is from an enemy outside. Okay, yes, we have issues in this country, but you don't go and shoot your fellow citizens because you don't agree with them, even if they are rioting. You don't do that. Anyway, so you can imagine the pep talk. But here's what happened: is they said that this AR-15 that he crossed state lines with illegally was actually a hunting rifle. Yeah, I paused for effect on that. Really, that's this. Man, you got to be a really bad hunter to need an AR-15 to take down a deer. That's all I'm going to say. Not very sporting, is it? So, yeah, but that's the argument, is that this could be conceived as a hunting rifle. I guess in a way it was a hunting rifle because he used it to hunt people. So there we go. So anyway, so that charge has been dropped or dismissed, and so he will get away with everything. He killed 2 people, which brings me to my point. Laws that, in my opinion, should be laws like this one. Okay, fine, you got away with it. You're claiming self-defense, although you went into a war zone with an AR-15 completely willingly. Nobody. I mean, he was attacked. I'm not. That seems to be. I don't know if it's indisputable, but he got in people's faces with that gun and almost asked to be attacked. There was no reason for you to go there. It's like, you go looking for trouble, you might find it, and he found it. So those blubbering crocodile tears, I don't believe him for a second. He was going and celebrating with people. There's multiple pictures of organizations that supported what he did, and him smiling right with them in these photo ops. Anyway, if you kill someone with a gun, you don't get a gun anymore. How's that for a common sense law? Now, obviously, there would be many caveats. If you're a peace officer, if you're in the military, if it's an act of self-defense. Like I say, they're arguing that with this guy, but maybe it needs to be more of a self-defense. Maybe it needs to be, I don't know. This is where it gets hairy, but that's something I feel that if you went out of your way to look for trouble and found it, and then you killed 2 people and injured a third, maybe you just don't get a gun anymore. I feel the same way with vehicles. This one's a hairy one too, but I feel, and my dad and I have talked about this, one of the few things the Corelli men agree on, apparently, at least this Corelli and the generation ahead of me. If you kill somebody with your car and you're found to be at fault, you don't get a driver's license anymore. You do not get to drive. You get ID through the through the DMV. That'd be a good part of the punishment, wouldn't it? You still have to go to the DMV and wait in that line to get your identification. That's part of your punishment for killing a person because you were being irresponsible. Once again, if it's an accident, it's an accident. Part of the problem is a lot of the lines are being blurred about what a lot of people think an accident is versus negligence. The reason I think of this very vividly, and this is a while ago, it was back in 2005. I was working with this guy. I liked the guy, very likable guy, intelligent guy, but way askew on this, and he didn't seem to get it. He had a friend. He said she was driving along and there was a CD. That's how long ago it was. CD in the bottom, like on the floor of the passenger side of the car, and she went down, started rummaging around for it while she's driving, and she hit a guy on a bike and killed the guy. It was like a 60-year-old guy just riding his bike, and all of a sudden she's out of control because she's digging for her super important CD, and she killed the guy. And I was like, what happened to her? And he's like, well, she got her license suspended and had probation for a year. And I'm like, that's bullshit. He's like, yeah, she really shouldn't. I was like, no, it's bullshit for the guy. Here's my thing. I often look at it from the point of view of the dead guy. Okay, how about a little justice for this guy? That accident did not need to happen. I told him, I said, that's negligence. And he's like, no, that's an accident. I go, no, it's not. Avoidable accidents are negligence, period. She's lucky, so lucky. I mean, I'm not saying it's a homicide, but if you're negligent and you kill somebody, you don't get to drive anymore. You suck, and you shouldn't be on the road with those of us who know how to drive. Like I said, the same caveats for the guns, right? If it's an accident, of course it's not. If it's seen as not your fault and somebody died in that accident, or it was an act of God, but if you're being negligent and you kill somebody, you should not have the privileges that everyone else has. And not to mention, you should be open to civil suits and criminal suits still. But then when you survive those, I'm sorry, you don't get a license. You don't get a gun. You don't get to have the privileges that us more responsible members of society get. This brings me to another law that I think it's this one. And they're all hairy, just like my back. But they're all hairy because it's not easy to make laws, man. I wouldn't trade places with a legislator, especially a couple hundred years ago when they were just starting to create laws for this country. It's not easy at all. And there's always other people say, what about this? What about this? And a lot of times those points are valid. Sometimes they're not, but a lot of times you got to hear different points of view. That's how this country was founded, on different points of view, trying to get a common thing done. And we were built on compromise because we didn't want a king telling us what to do. But anyway, suicide, I think, should be legal. We voted for it to be legal here in Colorado last year. Now, I'm not sure if that's assisted, if it has to be assisted. I'm really not sure of the actual, I believe it is, but I don't know for sure. And I should have done some research, but I suck, as you guys know. But I do believe if you want to kill yourself in this country, claiming to be the freest country on the planet, you should be able to kill yourself. If you're in pain and don't want to deal with it anymore, whether it's in your head or in your body, you should be able to kill yourself. And you shouldn't have somebody diving down your throat saying, well, God would want you to do this, or someone else would want you to do that. No, this is freedom of choice. This is my choice, my body, my choice, to throw an abortion line in there, and now an anti-vax line as well. But if that should be your right, and once again, some small caveats to that one. Don't jump off a building and squish a person. Don't jump off an overpass onto a car doing 60 miles an hour that causes a 20-car pileup and maybe kills multiple people. You're going to put a gun in your mouth, make sure no one's around. I'm not trying to be too morbid or dark about it, but there are people in this world that are in severe pain. Like I said, I'm lucky. I'm lucky I have the people I have in my life, but Logan goes through pain all the time. I'm not saying he should even contemplate suicide. He has a lot to live for. But I do understand when you're in a deep, deep depression, that may seem like an out. I'm not saying it should be your out. It shouldn't be your first choice for sure. But what if you've exhausted all other things that you can exhaust? You've exhausted your family and therapists and any other avenues you can go down. Maybe this would be a good one. I should do a guest spot with my brother, because my brother, that's what he does for a living right now. He talks people literally off of ledges. He's a counselor, and he works for a suicide hotline. And so maybe I should get more from him before I don't want to take a cavalier attitude towards suicide, but I do think it's something, it's a right we should have. I don't want people just start plunging off of buildings, but I do think if you're in pain, like if I'm in my 80s and I get cancer, I don't want to have to battle that as my last, as the last things I do in this mortal coil on this planet. I want to be able to just say, okay, can I just, hey, Dr. Kevorkian, or Dr. Kevorkian's grandson, will you hit me up with the lethal injection? It's not going to hurt. Okay, great. I'm done. Get my family around, give them all hugs and kisses. Let's do a shot and let's call this. Okay. So those are some laws that would happen if there was a place called Carelliland, we try to keep it happy here. We try to keep it light. We try to have a good time. Thanks, you guys. I'll talk to you next time. And thanks for watching. Bye.